You ever thought about getting sober? Wondering, am I going to be the same person? Probably not. Am I going to be able to function in society being sober? Heck yes, you are. You're dang right you will be able to. You can function better than you ever have before. Welcome back to the Marcus Allgood Show. Appreciate everybody listening and watching, sharing the show once people got some value out of it. Today we're going to talk about my journey of being sober and getting sober and how powerful it is to change your life and become sober. I first got sober in 2012, February 19th. I still remember that day. From what I remember, it could be a bad picture, a vivid memory. It could be the wrong memory. I don't know. But I just know I never touched another drink that after February 18th. And February 19th, I said I'm getting sober. I'm never going to drink it again. It was either stay married or stay married to the bottle and the drugs. The amount of fights we would get into. So on February 19th, that night was rock bottom. I hit rock bottom deep hard. One night we were sitting there drinking, and I can't remember if some friends were over or not, but from what I remember, like your memory is so different. I've never really asked Kelly this question again ever since that night, but I just remember, I can't remember if I'm tying two stories, but I remember I was standing up in the kitchen. It was kind of like a bar area in the kitchen. And I took this shot of vodka, and she was like, quit taking shots. I was like, go F yourself. I don't care. I'm going to do it. And so I took another shot, and I was just like, I was that guy. Like, it wasn't very fun to be around once I got to that point. It wasn't fun at all. And I remember we were getting into a fight because I took the shot, and of course I told her to F off, and it just escalated from there. And I remember going to the bedroom, and the bedroom was next to the kitchen, and I took my beer bottle and I threw it at the wall, at the door, and I'm pretty sure, I said some vulgar things that I would never say sober to a person, ever. Like, my mouth would get crazy after getting drunk. It would just run and say stupid things, and a lot of those things you can't come back from. You can't take them back. Once they're said, that person's scarred for life. Like, it's hard to forget that you said that person said it. And my mouth would say some stuff my butts couldn't cash. And that night, she ended up leaving and going to a friend's house. And I pretty much tried calling her, playing the calling game. And, she kept ignoring it. And I just kept trying to call, just kept drinking. And pretty much that night, I went to bed and I woke up and I was like, man, she's still gone. I was like, I'm never drinking again. I can't decide if I decided that night or that morning. And I was like, I'm never drinking again. I can't handle my alcohol. I can't handle the drugs. I can't handle this. And it had been 3 days had gone by. And, I sat there and I was like, you know what? I'm going to write an apology letter. And I wrote out all my feelings, all the bad things I've done while drinking and with her, and just told her how much I loved her and how much she meant to me. And, sitting there bawling my eyes out, reading this letter to her when she finally came back home. And luckily for me, she decided to stay, but it was such a powerful commitment to myself and to her that I was going to stay sober and I wasn't going to drink anymore. And she was like, well, you could probably handle, you could probably just drink one or two. And I told her, I was like, I can't do that. I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. Like, it's either I drink to get drunk. I don't drink for the taste. I drink to get drunk, or you do drugs to get high, not to feel better, or, you're going all in. Like, there's no, oh, let me just have a couple sips or a couple snorts. It's the whole 8-ball. It's all of it going down in one night. Like, there is no leftovers after that night. But to my knowledge, like, after that, I've never picked up another drink, never took another drug. And so it's just been an amazing, amazing time. And one of the biggest fears about being sober or getting sober was the fear that I was going to lose my so-called friends, which I did because they weren't friends. Those people are just there to bring you down with them. They want you to live at their level. They're not happy with themselves. So they want you to keep drinking and not be happy with yourself. Because once I got sober, I was super happy. I was a lot happier. thought I was going to have bad sex. I didn't think I was going to be able to make my wife laugh. I didn't think we were going to have fun anymore. We were supposed to have fun when we were drinking. And we did have fun, but it usually escalated into, arguing and not having a good time. And one thing that helped me overcome those fears is just getting out there doing it. I mean, it probably maybe within a month or two, I went to a bar with my wife and some friends and just sat there and drinking water. And I did quickly realize that it is not very much fun to be at a bar when you're not drinking. It's just, in the beginning, it's kind of fun before everybody starts getting drunk. You're like, okay, this is normal. Everybody's just having a good time, talking. And then it starts escalating more and more and more. And the dumber they get. They just get more and more stupid as they go, the more you drink. And once you realize that, you're like, oh my gosh, I used to be that person, but now I'm not. So now I could just sit there. Even then, I could just tell my stories the way they were, or I could sit there and talk to them. And I would feel good about myself, and I didn't have to try and entertain them because they probably weren't going to remember anyways. So it's just one of those, to get over the fear, you just had to jump in and do what you needed to do. Have sex with your wife, not drinking, or go talk to some people, hang out at some parties, hang out at a bar. But after a while, you'll slowly fade away from that crowd because they'll no longer be your friends because you're not drinking. They're not bringing you down anymore. They're going to say, why don't you drink? You don't even just drink like one? No, I don't drink at all. Like, I'm sober. There is no point for me drinking. How's my daily life changed since becoming sober? My daily life has changed drastically. I like to get up early. Before, when I was hungover, I'd like to sleep in as long as possible. I don't know the last time I slept past 7 o'clock, unless it was, staying up all night, driving home or something like that. My relationships with my wife has greatly improved. We don't fight. We talk things out. We communicate effectively. And I don't know what my life would be if I was drinking with the kids. And my kids don't know the difference between me not drinking and drinking. So I know my kids and I relationship is really good because of the fact that I'm not hungover. I don't have to lie to them saying that Daddy's got a headache for some odd reason, meaning I was hungover. I'm not irritable. I'm not emotional. I'm not I don't bark orders all the time. When I was drinking all the time and being hungover, like just 2 or 3 drinks the next day, you could still be mean, be a bear, and you don't even know it. Like you just get irritated and you just bark orders at somebody, and you're just like mean. And I see it with other people. I've seen it with my wife even, just yelling at the kids, and you're like, man, calm down. Like the kids aren't doing anything. They're just being kids. It's going to be okay. And I know they love sober dad because they get to get up in the morning, they get breakfast cooked all the time. We get to go do things. I don't sit at home on the couch all day watching movies because my head hurts. I'm hungover, can't hold anything down. I stay active, work out all the time, work out 6-7 days a week. Before, that workouts would go up and down. I was 2 years into working out. Excuse me. I was 2 years into working out before I got sober. And once I got sober, my workouts drastically improved. And I became a competitive CrossFitter and just went down that whole path. It's just one of those things that I am truly grateful for, that I got to experience, the competitive side of CrossFit and just being sober. I actually hurt myself one time when I was drunk trying to do some pull-ups. Thought I pulled my shoulder out of socket or hurt my shoulder pretty bad. And it's not worth it to me to go back down that route. So in what ways has your mindset shifted since embracing sobriety? My mindset shifted to believe that life is working for me and not against me. Being grateful is more powerful than being depressed, envious, and negative. What surprised me the most was how easy it became to integrate into society, becoming a functional and generally happy person. I am way less stressed out. I do not complain all the time. I do not, the careers that I'm at, I don't complain to. If I had a boss, I wouldn't complain to the boss all the time. I wouldn't yell at people. It was just one of those things where I was just rude. I was a rude person. And my mindset has changed so much that, God's in my life now. I know there's a higher power out there controlling everything we're doing. We're just along for the ride. And you just got to accept the fact that it is what it is, and you just got to go with the flow. And once you learn that, the less you drink and the more sober you become, the more enlightened you are. And you'll realize that life is magical, and life is exciting, and life is thrilling, and there's so much more to life than just going out there getting hammered or doing some drugs and spending time with fake friends that are just getting hammered too, that wake up the next day hurting, like, oh my gosh, why did I just do this? And then how many times did you pray to the porcelain gods saying you weren't going to drink anymore that morning, and then that night you're out there drinking again or doing some drugs? Like, it's a cruel world. I've probably thrown up 3 times since I gotten sober. Those are the 3 times I've gotten sick, and it is not fun. My throat hurts afterwards. My stomach hurts. It's terrible. And I used to do it all the time when I was drinking. Like, I would throw up all the time. I was a professional thrower-upper. So, all right, could you share a specific moment or turning point that confirmed to you that sobriety was positively transforming my life? My relationship with my wife improved significantly. We started communicating without fighting or fighting. Our love deepened, and she respected me as a person, and I respected her as a person, and still respect each other as people. My workouts became better within 30 days. I wasn't as grumpy. I wasn't as emotional. I didn't have those outbursts that I used to have. And it's just overall less stressful. So you think about when you're at work. It's 5 o'clock. You're about to get off work because you're about to go meet everybody at happy hour. You're super excited, and your boss comes in and says, hey, how about you just hang out another 30 minutes? And you're like, man, boss, I got to go. I got plans. I got to go. I got plans. I got things to do. And the boss says, no, you either stay or you get fired. And you're like, fine, I'll just stay. And then you get all angry because you, in your mind, were excited to go get that first shot or first beer or first line, doing whatever you're going to do. But now you got to wait 30 minutes, and you're just feeling all anxious, and you're mad at the boss. You're like, my boss is terrible. I hate him. I wanted to go to happy hour being selfish, thinking about that. But then when you become sober, you're like, yeah, I can stay 30 more minutes. No problem. What do you need? What do you need help with? It's a total mind shift that you won't know until you become sober. Once that bottle gets out of your life, you don't think about it anymore. I mean, you think about it all the time, but it doesn't hold you hostage like it does. It doesn't change your feelings like it does when you actually can go drinking with it. It's one of those that if you get sober, it's going to transform your life in so many different ways that you're never even going to dream possible of how it can change your life. I never thought my life would be this way, and it's been 13 years, 14 years, 13, and it is awesome. I will tell you, it is awesome. Personal story, my own story has deeply moved me. I want others to experience sobriety because my life shifted from feeling drunk and believing the world was against me to being grateful and feeling the world is here for me. The profound love I have for my wife and my kids could never have been truly experienced under the influence of drugs and alcohol. The love that I have for them is deep, deep, deep. I do everything for my wife and my family. I stay sober for my wife and my family. It's just one of those things that I told her I was going to stay sober so I could stay married to her. We were only 10 months into our marriage before we almost got divorced. 10 months. It's not even that long. 10 months. Like, she was pregnant for 10 months. It's like a life of a baby being born that I could have ruined my marriage. I could have ruined having kids. We didn't even have kids then. And it was one of those things that I wanted to have kids. I wanted to be married. And I did not want to be married to the bottle or the drugs. And it's a hard lesson to have to go through. But when you hit that rock bottom and realize what you want, that's when you can change. That's where the magic happens. And that's where your life becomes just awesome. Once you realize that you can do the change. one of the biggest challenges I faced maintaining sobriety. Oh, it's just not drinking, not doing drugs. The biggest challenge is it's just not using. Initially, thoughts arise that I could temporarily numb the pain. Sometimes I just get, like, when something bad happens, you're like, oh, well, I could just go out drinking. I could just do some drugs and just numb the pain and it'll go away. I won't have to think about it. But that's a temporary fix. And I remind myself that if I have the life that I built right now, what's going to happen if I take that drink? What's going to happen if I take that line of Coke? It's going to all fall apart, like, fast. It's going to go down really fast. My family is my highest priority, and showing up sober every day for them is absolutely worth it. It's one of those that I'm not going to tear my family apart over some poison that I could put into my body. And I'm talking pretty harsh about drugs and alcohol, but technically it is a poison, and it almost ruined my life. I probably should have had 3 or 4 DUIs. Probably should have had more than one wrecked one of my trucks, broke part of my nose, and, ran off, left the scene, didn't get a DUI on that one. I've been pulled over multiple times drunk. It just scares me what I could have done being as hammered as I was driving down the road. I remember in high school one time, I was driving back home, and we lived on this gravel road, and I swerved off the road and into the ditch. I came back out, and I got home. It was on the gravel road that I lived on. And I got home, and I looked at the car, and I was missing a hubcap. It was a cool hubcap. Looked like rims. So I was, like, super excited about those. And went to bed, and I woke up the next morning, and I was like, oh, maybe it was just a dream. And I went outside, looked at my car, and I was missing the hubcap. And I was like, oh, idiot. I was like, I got to stop this. Even back then, I knew I had to stop this. And I just didn't stop. I mean, I probably started drinking when I was 16, 17. Didn't stop till I was 32. And it always starts out on the weekends. Then you add another day, then you add another day. And by the time it was in my 20s, we were 7 days a week downtown Austin, kicking it at the bar, getting hammered. All right, looking back, what's the most significant lesson sobriety has taught me? Being under the influence is not the way to live. Life becomes easier once you accept who you truly are and learn to live without substances. Accepting responsibility for your actions is crucial. Accepting the responsibility of the stress, accepting the fact you are where you are because of the decisions you've made. Nobody else's decisions made you to the spot where you are now. But if you can't handle the stress because you got to take some drinks, then you should probably look out for some therapy or start figuring out how to relieve your stress a different way, like work out, go for a run, walk, do something, knit. I don't care what it is, but you don't have to pick up the bottle to relieve the stress. What advice would I give? The best advice I could give to encourage you, if you're thinking about getting sober, or you think you can't get sober, or you are sober and maybe you just need another little thought to get through this sober journey that we're on, is find your why. Dig deep into your soul and ask yourself why you truly need to stop. You might need to hit rock bottom first, but once you find your why, it becomes easier, clearer, and more rewarding than you'll ever believe it could have been. My why is my kids and my family and my wife, mainly my wife because she was there first. Kids are just a bonus, but I do stay sober for them because I don't want to lie to them. I don't want to lie to my wife either. I don't want to go behind her back drinking. I used to take shots while she was at work by myself at home. Like, terrible. What was I thinking? Obviously, just to get hammered. And then, of course, she comes home sober, and I'd be hammered and trying to play catch up. It never worked out. I always thought it would, but it never would. And just think about your why. Hit that rock bottom. Whether you have to go to rehab, whether you wrecked your car, it's going to happen. Rock bottom's going to happen. But once you hit it, you have to pick a why and say, I'm doing this for me. It has to be for you. Can't be for anybody else. I did it for myself to be married to my wife. I didn't do it for my wife to be married to me. I did it so I could have kids in the future for myself. And I just knew after a while, once I was sober and once I could think back and remember who I was before drinking, I was such a nice person, not the bully that I was when I was drinking. And I just knew the life would work out. And obviously I was still scared, was my wife going to leave me because I was sober? She said she wouldn't. So I believed her. So here we are, 2011 we were married, and we're still kicking it. We still hang out. We still talk every day, and we still enjoy each other's company. And our love runs deep, and I love her. And, I hope you all got some enjoyment out of this. But that's the pod. I appreciate everybody listening, and have a great day.